Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. Today, we are going through some Reddit things, probably because I just do not want to go ahead with the book summary. I just do not feel like doing so. So let us see. Help test a new safety feature. You have been randomly selected to try a new setting that collapses potentially disruptive comments. The question that I'm now having, since saying, okay, you have been randomly selected, this can make somebody feel pretty proud, The question is, should I feel good about that? Should I see it as something, amazing or cool or whatnot, since, probably 100 or 1,000 or a few million other people have also been quote unquote randomly selected. Anyway, the more you know who you are and what you want, the less things upset you, which really ties very neatly into the book. I think it's called The Purpose for Life. I still do not exactly know, by Rick Warren. It ties really, really well into that, into the book per se, because, well, if you know your purpose, if you know what you should be doing with your life and in your life, there's actually not that much that can disrupt you. Unless, of course, something is so strong that you cannot do this one thing anymore. Whether this is permanent or just not permanent doesn't really matter now. This is going to be a situation you do just not want to be in. But anything else is fine. Anything else is like, I don't care about that. So when you really truly know what your life purpose is, there's not going to be a lot of things that are going to make you feel bad. When somebody says something to you, well, I have my purpose. I know what I'm doing. I know what I should be doing. And I'm also doing that. And so I'm fine with my fucking life. Pretty valuable, I would say. And I would argue. Today I made the decision to go to therapy, which is a pretty great thing. Find a therapist I like, go on 1 date minimum, submit my PhD application, go back to the gym. There's a little bit of a few points there, but I should actually also read the text because it is very out of context. 22 female with depression/pessimism and trust issues here got tired of wallowing in self-pity and decided to make a change. I just had a major surgery that I'd been putting off for quite some time due to school, which was the first step to improved health and happiness. Next is therapy, where I'm hoping to find the root cause of my main issues. Social difficulty, never had a first date, which may or may not be something of importance. Still, anyway, self-sabotage and regret of wasting my teenage years. I know happiness is out there, I just have to find it. My goals for the rest of 2021 are... And then that's the rest of what I was reading before. Something that I do not necessarily like is saying, I just have to find it. Well, finding it in the outside world is like, she doesn't say so. So what I immediately thought about was finding it in the outside world, I just have to find this one thing and then I'm going to be happy. I just have to do this one thing and then I'm going to be happy. But are you really going to be happy then? I think regarding this situation, it is a bit of a different situation, it's a different scenario. And, but for example, if you are, very good example, if you are already in pretty good shape, you look quite good, just in general compared to the regular fucking human being, you look quite good, but you still feel like, okay, I just want to gain this amount of muscles, or I just this and that and these and those. I know it doesn't matter that much. But in the end, are you going to be happier? No, you're not. Because when you are at this point, you're going to think, what if I just lose again a few pounds? I'm probably going to look even better. And it is going to go ahead with that, this thought and or this scheme as a way of living for quite some time until things, maybe just really kind of get out of hand. Maybe. Hopefully not, but maybe. So I do have a big problem with trying to find happiness in the outside. I do really, though, on the other hand, think that it is amazing to find happiness inside of you. Because it is there. It really is, A lot of things that we are not happy with, or a lot of reasons why we're not happy, are just because of the way we think about things. And by changing our worldview and the way we see things, the point of view that we take from time to time, or actually all the time, this is going to really, really change a lot. This is going to change your whole life, essentially. Like thinking, opinions, and attitude, and all these things, they can be changed by change of thoughts, can really do something to you. Really a great thing. Just wanted to point that out once again. Might also be just me. It might just also be me reminding myself of this fact. By the way, one of the dumbest things that I did today was rendering a video while I'm fucking recording. Like, no, dude. Why? And I'm just seeing there's some huge issues with performance. I hope it is actually not too bad. But I'm gonna see. It is what it is. Countless attempts to be consistent, but I can now proudly say I had a healthy amount of sleep for 9 days in a row. I normally stay up beyond 1 a.m. for about 2 years, and for the past few days I was finally able to sleep at 9 to 10 p.m., which I think, at my point of view and also for my schedule and my pattern, works very well. And I have also seen that sleep is pretty good before midnight. My sleep after midnight is like horrible. I bought melatonin this year because it was getting nearly impossible to fix my biological clock. This month is when I really took my sleep problem seriously. Sometimes the melatonin works, but there are times it doesn't. So that was a bit of a challenge. 9 days is the highest streak I have so far, and I hope I can keep this up. I really hope so as well, since sleep, and it was also kind of underrated for me for quite some time. But at this point in time, I really am also trying to have good sleep. I'm not consciously deciding not to sleep just because I want to do something else, which in the end is just going to impact everything quite. And one also notices that, I would say. Even though there are some people, they say like, okay, I do not need that much sleep. And yes, this can actually be the truth. But on the other hand, I often also feel like, well, this might just be chronic disease, chronic sleep deprivation, which is then your natural and normal state. But what if this person sleeps for a proper amount of time, for a week, whatever it might be, maybe even 10 days or 9 days? I think things are going to change quite a bit. Maybe at first also to the negative because your body is not used to it, but over time probably going to be a good thing. Something else, melatonin is actually pretty strong. Also, as far as I know and as far as I have heard, when you buy melatonin as a supplement, the amounts that you're going to consume, they are just really incredible, but in a negative way. Of course, also in a good way, since the amount of melatonin that you're gonna give to your body is probably gonna make you sleepy and make you feel like sleeping. On the other hand, I think that it is inhibiting your natural production over time. Which means and I think this just really makes sense, your body notices that there is so much melatonin, so it decides not to produce anything anymore. And I would say that after you stop taking melatonin, this can really put one into a situation that is not that nice, not that favorable. I've heard a lot about ashwagandha, or however it is pronounced, I don't know. And there's also, I think, some research on it that it apparently also can help with sleep. And this, as far as I know at least, and this is no health advice or whatnot, is also better in terms of your health compared to melatonin or other sleep aids. But yeah, I know this is totally something that one needs to be talking about to a doctor to see if this is something that can even work for you. On the other hand, just because I thought about it, as far as I know, coffee and or caffeine is inhibiting melatonin receptors. It might actually be not melatonin, but it might tie into that. So the thing is, no matter how much melatonin you're going to put into your body, into your system, wherever this is actually going to head, probably the brain, but I do not know, is this really going to change anything? Since your receptors, the one single unit that is going to absorb this hormone, is it a hormone? I think it is. Is it going to work if it can't absorb it? Because it is clogged up with caffeine, basically. Well, I would actually say no, but I don't know the literature. I don't know studies. I don't know anything about that. So this is just a thought, Maybe people here just deciding to maybe go on medication might check that. Anyway, okay, I took humiliation, but I think I'm ready to stop lying. I got my first girlfriend about a month ago at the age of 21, which I do not know why people actually care about that much. Of course, I can talk my talk, of me having had. Does this make sense? Having had. Well, I had a girlfriend relatively early in my life. I think it's been 16, yes. But still, I don't really know why this is such a big deal. Like, if you're 21, 25, 27, I don't know, is it really that important? Anyway, I got my first girlfriend about a month ago at the age of 21. We got along great. She was hot and she seemed to be into me. One day, three of us dating, she wanted to make it official and exclusive. I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't just clearly understand, or I don't really understand the whole situation, but anyway. I have ADHD and I'm suffering from childhood trauma abuse. As a result, I am a compulsive liar. I don't even realize I'm doing it, but it's got completely out of hand as of recently. One day, 5 of us dating, she introduced me to her friends. My nerves kicked in and suddenly I went on a ramble and told some really obvious lies, embarrassing both me and my girlfriend in front of her friends. So the question that I'm now having, are those, first of all, 3 dating, and then second of all, 5 dating? Are all of them just dating? Are they all in somehow a relationship? I just don't really get it. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. It didn't last very long, and all my friend was threatened by a gang in a nightclub and had to talk his way out of a confrontation. I said it was me just because I was there on the night. They knew I was lying just by the way I stumbled through explaining it. I also lied about having relationships in the past and lots of little lies all throughout. Is this actually a longer text? No, it's okay. On our last date together, I told an actual true story about something crazy that happened to me, and surprise, surprise, she thought I was lying. Once you lie one time, nobody trusts you ever again, and it demonstrates insecurity. Honestly, it really hurt. Hearing that from her, I liked her a lot, and I had no reason to lie. I am now hyper conscious about being completely honest with everything I say. Even when typing this, I found myself exaggerating some stuff, and I had to go back and rewrite. I'm still young and hoping that this change won't be too late to fix my relationship life. I feel embarrassed but also empowered, and I'm starting therapy, which is always nice. Therapy is always a good idea. But I have found myself in the same situation from time to time as well this is a quote-unquote problem that I'm having with verbal communication, well, also written. You can say the exact same thing in so many fucking ways. But each of those ways are, first of all, going to be meant slightly different by you, but they're also going to be understood slightly different by somebody else. The problem is, so the additional problem is that when you say something in a way that makes you feel a certain way, it doesn't mean that when you say this to another person, that this person is also going to feel that certain way. Nobody says that or says that. It's not the case. We all understand things in a different way. We all, basically also do things in a different way. So, I think being conscious about how you're communicating things and how you're saying things and how you also, how clearly you communicate things so that the likelihood of them being meant differently than you intended them to be, that this is going to be diminished and just lower. But just trying to tell a story as accurately or as real as possible, I think, is just a good way to go. I don't know, is this then really a lie just because you exaggerate things, or, however you pronounce it? Difficult, very, very, very difficult. Would actually really like to hear your opinion on that. But anyway, I think that I'm going to end the episode there. I do hope that I've been able to go through or go over some things that were of purpose to you now in the end. And I just wish you the best and hopefully see you soon. So, bye-bye.